Hello everyone, in this lecture we are going to learn drama and its two major kinds, but if you are new to my channel please like and subscribe it. Well, let's move and learn it. A drama is a genre of literature that is written for the purpose of being performed in front of an audience. What does it mean? Simply, by this definition, it means that a drama is nothing but just a story which is written in the form of a script, and the story is told through the lines of the characters played by actors. I think still you are not getting the point. In other words, you can say that a drama is a genre of literature that is meant to be performed in front of an audience. This question must be in your mind, that how drama is different from other genres of literature. So the answer is, dramas are meant to be performed in front of an audience, while other genres of fiction are meant to be read. This means that dramas rely on the actors' performances to bring the story to life. The audience can see the characters' facial expressions and body language, and they can hear the actors' voices. This makes dramas a more immersive experience than other genres of fiction. And another distinctive feature of drama is that dramas are driven by dialogue, while other genres of fiction may rely more on narration. Well, as you have understood about a drama, but you haven't learnt about kinds of a drama. Let's move and learn two major kinds of drama, which are comedy and tragedy. Comedy. Comedy is a genre of literature that is meant to entertain the audience by making them laugh. It typically involves humor, wit, and satire. What does it mean? Simply, it means that a comedy is kind of drama that is meant to entertain the audience and make them laugh. Other genres are meant to evoke different emotions in the audience, such as fear, suspense, or wonder, etc., but comedy is a kind of drama that is written and staged to entertain and laugh audience. I think still you are not getting it, so let me tell you the characteristics of a comedy. Tone. The tone of a comedy is typically light-hearted and optimistic, while the tone of a tragedy is typically serious and pessimistic. In other words, you can say, the tone of a comedy is typically light-hearted and optimistic, and it is meant to make the audience laugh. So the tone of comedy is also different from other genres. The end. As you have come to know that the tone of comedy is different, so the question is, does a comedy also have different ending? So the answer is, yes, a comedy has a different ending as compared to a tragedy. Basically, comedies typically end with the protagonist overcoming their challenges and achieving their goals. This can be a happy ending, such as the protagonist getting married to their true love, or it can be a more bittersweet ending, such as the protagonist learning to accept their limitations. However, the overall tone of the ending is typically positive and hopeful. Themes. The themes of a comedy is also different from other kinds of dramas. Actually, the themes of a comedy often revolve around humor, wit, and the absurdity of human behavior. Basically, they highlight the amusing aspects of an individual life. You can take example of Shakespeare's comedy, Twelfth Night. Actually it is funny because the characters get mixed up and confused, leading to silly situations. They make jokes and use clever words that make people laugh. By the end, everything gets sorted out, and everyone is happy. That's why it's called a comedy. Tragedy. A tragedy can be defined as, a tragedy is a genre of drama that typically features a protagonist who is brought down by their own flaws, usually by ordinary human flaws like greed, overambition, or even an excess of love, honor, or loyalty. What does it mean? Simply, it means that a tragedy is kind of drama. There is a tragic hero's downfall, and it is often accompanied by a great deal of suffering, both for the hero and for those around them. In the end, The hero is usually destroyed either physically or emotionally. The audience is meant to feel pity and fear for the hero, but also to understand their flaws and to see how their downfall is a result of their own choices. In simple terms, a tragedy is a story about a good person who makes bad choices and is ultimately destroyed by them. So it is called tragedy. And, let me also tell you the distinctive characteristics of a tragedy. Protagonist. What does it mean by a protagonist? Simply it means that a protagonist is a hero who is brought down by his own flaws. Basically, he is usually a good person, but he has a flaw that ultimately leads to their downfall. This flaw is often called a tragic flaw, a hamartia, or an error of judgment. So this is the first characteristic of a tragedy, that there will be a tragic hero. The second is a catharsis for the audience. It means that the audience is meant to feel pity and fear for the hero, but also to understand their flaws and to see how their downfall is a result of their own choices. This can lead to a catharsis, or a feeling of relief and understanding. A serious tone. By a serious tone means that tragedies are typically serious in tone, and they often deal with themes of death, loss, and despair. Themes. The themes of a tragedy are also different. Basically, tragedies explore themes of fate, human flaws, and the consequences of poor decisions. Characters in tragedies might grapple with internal conflicts and moral dilemmas. So the themes of a tragedy are also different from a comedy. The ending. The ending of a tragedy evokes strong emotions in the audience, such as pity and fear. It can also prompt contemplation about the human condition, the consequences of actions, and the unpredictability of fate. Tragic stories typically end in a downbeat or somber manner, with the main characters suffering, dying, or facing irreversible losses. The emotional impact on the audience tends to be heavy. Well, if you have enjoyed, then please and subscribe the channel. Thank you.